Hello and welcome. I have an honorable guest with me today, a startup founder and a successful entrepreneur, Enzo Jia. And thank you very much for having us. And we are very honored to be in this amazing place. It's called the Forge Business Incubator, as I can see from a distance. Enzo, let's start with identifying where we are. Can you describe this place where we're sitting at the moment, please?
Sure, of course. So this is actually called Forge Incubators and was part of McMaster Universities. The building we are in called McMaster Innovation Park, and basically is kind of research and entrepreneur sectors from McMaster Universities.
We are in the city of Hamilton, which is about 55, 60 kilometers from Toronto. And you studied here. What brings you to Hamilton?
I did my high school in at Don Mills. I did my high school there, and during high schools, and I decided to go for McMaster Universities.
Yeah.
Because during that times, I tried to study in automotive sectors. But if you're looking at the university in Canada, there's like not too many programs related to automotive sectors. There's only two options. Neither you go to McMaster universities or you go to Windsor. And there's also another universities have special program for automotive sectors. Yeah. And I decided to just go to McMaster, and because it's not that far away from Toronto.
Yes.
So that's why I decided to go to McMaster universities, and I did my bachelor's and master's in McMaster, spending like almost 10 years
I see.
For my academic journey, and currently I'm still in McMaster.
What's the story behind Longan Vision? Why did you come up with this idea? What was that spark moment?
So during McMaster Universities, I was focusing on study on the head-up display system for vehicle applications. So when you see a Mercedes and BMW, those fancy car, it can actually project the speedometers on the windshield. Yeah. I was part of that research on the optical design and also the software codings regarding getting information from the of the car and display project on the dashboard. So that's kind of my interest in is actually on the head-up display and AR side, how to project information on a transparent combiners in front of the people's eyes. Nice. This is always my biggest interest in, during my academic journey as well. So from there, I also joined by my co-founder and Ash, Liu, and Leno, and Ash was actually a PhD, and he is working on thermal imaging for autonomous driving vehicles. And Leno, my co-founder, also working on autonomous driving vehicle as well. One day we think about how we can combine our research together with our head-up display technologies, with Ash's thermal imaging solutions for detections, and also Leno's mechanical design. So how we can combine them together. So we finally found out why we design a wearable device, AR wearable device that can help people to solve their problem and can be used for dangerous or harsh environment.
Yeah.
So this is kind of the ideas that come up actually is in the lab, I would say, in the McMaster lab. Yeah. We don't have a lot of business background, so we do now know the use cases. So that's why we kind of reach out to McMaster, to the Forge accelerators, ask us, okay, so we have this great research and spin off from the research, how we can commercialization and do what's the path we can take. And basically Forge actually help us doing a roadmap of you maybe first doing some interviewing with industrial sectors. And also because the use cases of our devices, you can see in the dark and smoke and even in the rain conditions, maybe you want to look at the first responder sectors. From the help of Forge, we have conducted a lot of interviews in industrial sectors, including a lot of manufacturing facilities, assembly line, and also we interviewing with the local fire department, police departments. After all the interviewing, we found out is that the fire departments are the people really need these technologies.
You saw that fire department, firefighters are in desperate need for some technology, wearable technology, which will do what for them?
Enhance their vision.
Enhance their vision.
And also communications.
Okay.
So police, if you're looking at all the product on the market, well, for industrial applications, they do have Microsoft HoloLens and Google Glass.
Yeah, Google Glass,
on that part. For police, special SWAT teams, they have the night vision goggle.
Yes.
But what firefighter have? They have nothing.
And what was the impression and feedback from firefighters?
Initial prototype, they told us this is going to be a game changer.
Game changer.
In the first, not only the firefighters, but the first responder sectors.
Yes.
Search, not only talking about extinguish a fire, but also for search and rescue purposes.
Search and rescue, yeah.
Finding missing person in the wood and someone's actually in the rivers, we can also find them. Currently, what they are using here is actually a handhold camera.
Yeah, handhold camera.
Thermal camera.
Thermal cameras.
You have to hold it, and the only function it's providing is just thermal. That's it.
And your prototype includes that already in the hardware, and it goes night vision, as you said, and heat recognition.
The main purposes of our system is actually able to help them see better in dark, smoke environment, and also providing the military, the hand-free capabilities.
Yeah.
They don't need to hold the camera anymore.
Exactly. Their hands are busy with other stuff.
Yeah, they have to hold persons or using axes to open the door, or holding the fire extinguisher or fire hose to extinguish the fire. Yeah. So their hand are busy, to be honest.
Exactly.
And there's no actual, they don't have a third hand to hold the camera.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why we kind of come up these ideas.
So let's come to we spoke about vision, enhancing the vision with the help of your device. Now, Longan Vision, where did the name come from?
That
what
name
does it mean?
It's very interesting. It's actually a Southeast Asia fruit. And called Longan, which means direct translation means dragon's eye. Dragon's eye.
It's the name of the fruit.
Yes, name of fruit.
I see. But it's the direct translation, dragon's eye, and which the word eye coincides with your vision enhancement.
Exactly.
You and your co-founder chose to be entrepreneurs. What made you choose an entrepreneurship pathway?
We have these great ideas. We really want to commercialize. Commercializing, we don't want this thing just stay on the paper.
Sure.
The only path we want to commercialization is become entrepreneur, to form a company.
There's no other way, right?
There's no other way. You can propose to other company, but I don't think they will just accept it. You have to, I think, just do your own first.
Exactly.
And there's no. If you look at old paths, there's the only path we saw to bring this thing to real life is become entrepreneur.
But it's not an easy path.
If you go in all the paths, this is actually the most difficult path to become entrepreneur because there's so many risks here.
What is it worthy at the end of the day?
I think is worthy, and because the journey become entrepreneur, you can meet different kind of peoples, and actually you can create your own connections in all the community, which is very important. I would say the networking we have made and the basically all network we have made is basically help us to help us now and also help us in the futures. The more friends you make, the more help you can get, right?
Longan Vision is in certain environment here in the startup community.
Yeah.
What's the importance of an environment for an entrepreneur like yourself?
I would say, if you are first-time entrepreneurs, the mentorship and opportunities provided by the accelerator program is very key to your success. Because if you are first entrepreneurs, you don't have experiences, and in order to avoid those mistakes, you have to talk with mentors, ask them the feedback, the suggestions to avoid the mistake. Because for the mentor, they have almost 20 years experiences in some of the sectors, and they already know what you can get into. They can advise you in the first hand, you may need to avoid this problem by doing this. So that's one thing, to actually the mentorship we're getting from all the accelerator program we have involved is extremely helpful. And second part is the opportunity, for example, for Forge or Spark centers, they always share some new opportunities, funding opportunities, or partnership opportunities, or some perk that provide by accelerators. For example, when we are also using cloud service, if you in part of the accelerator program, you can actually getting a free cloud credit, and from the perks, that's actually help us on the R&D side.
R&D, yeah. How long have you been, the Longan Vision has been active, and how much R&D has been done so far?
Before the company started, we already started a lot of research already, like both me, Lenos, and Ash, and also with another co-founder, Martins, has already started a lot of research when we were in the school. That's around like 1 or 2 years already, we started on that research. And when we become entrepreneur, which is 2018, like August, that's the date.
Just before the pandemic.
Before pandemic, just before pandemic, 1 year before pandemic, and we formed the company. That's why we start our kind of the real, I would say, the real entrepreneur journey and real commercialization and R&D process. It's already like 4 years.
4 years now, yeah.
4 years of commercialization R&D, and it is a tough journey. And because again, you are creating a hardware product, it's not a software.
It's not software.
And also this thing has to be, it's not a consumer product. It has extremely robust.
Yeah.
And it is a tough journey.
Is there any regulatory environment which you have to get a license or permit or something for the use of this product?
Well, I would say it depends on the region. Because for firefighters, like different regions or different countries have different set of rules you need to follow. Some of countries are very easy. For example, our device is extremely new to some of the fire, like I would say, like regions. They don't have a rule for this kind of devices. So we are kind of helping them to regulate the rule.
I see.
And
it's something new that you're bringing to them, so that they regulate.
Like you can imagine when the DJI drone came out, there's no regulation because it's just too new. Same thing here. Is our device is too new for them.
How would you define success at Longan Vision? What would be a success for you in your mind?
Our product can really solve firefighters' life and death problem.
Good.
That's very. If we got successful on that, that's actually a big successful, not only for as entrepreneur, but also for societies.
Yeah.
This device can potentially save people's life.
Not only firefighters' life, but the victims' life.
Exactly. This is actually a big, I would say this is like even more successful if kind of that was reached. Yeah. And second successful is that we keeping growing the companies, keeping raising fundings, and we also try to expand into other different sectors.
Why did you choose to bring this startup in Canada? You could go to US, you could go to Asia, for example. Why Canada?
The first thing, because actually if you're looking at the opportunity, funding opportunity provided by the federal and provincial government, we have a lot of funding opportunities. Initially, when we start our project here, is actually we didn't get funding from private sectors. We got a lot of fundings from public sectors.
From public sector, okay.
And from federals and from Ontario to support such activities.
Excellent.
But I don't think from R&D funding activities, I don't think the US has those much of fundings. In the US, you have to look into private sectors. How
many employees, how many team members do you have right now?
Well, currently we have around 10, I would say 10. There's some part-time and
part-time. What are the main challenges that you faced and successfully overcome?
Problem number one is getting funding from no matter from public sectors or private sectors to keep the companies running. Yeah. And especially if you're doing hardware, then that means a lot of overhead in front because you need to actually producing the part in the reality. So everything has to be customized made. Yeah. So we did spend a lot of money to make those customized components. I would say the second big challenge is the R&D process. And because again, we are doing pioneer in these sectors, we kind of the one actually broke the ice. And that's involved a lot of trial and errors. No one have done this before. We are the first companies try to break the ice. And there's going to be mistake.
Of course.
There's going to be testing. There's going to be iterations. You're spending 6 months on this design. You figure out, okay, it's not going to work. You have to do a design change. You'll spend another 3 to 2 months to fix the design. You're back to drawing boards now. Like software is not that hard, but especially for hardware, you have to recreating the stuff. It's also going to eat a lot of funding as well because you do a mistake, you have to pay again the part component, customized made component to do a second trial, second iterations.
How many rounds of funding have you gone through right now?
I would say 2 private equity rounds.
2 private equity, okay.
And but we do have a lot of funding from the federal and provincial government. That one I can't count anymore.
What makes you confident that this will not fail in the future?
If you're looking at the historical, like the AR and the VR, actually, if you're looking back to World War II, World War I, the first head-up display was using for jetter for fighter pilot.
Heads-up displays.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
The reason why they need that is for efficiency of display information in front of their head, which is the information needs to be, the correct information needs to be fast display in front of their eye. I think for AR and VR, the biggest, I would say, the problem it can solve is actually efficiency.
Efficiency.
How fast you can get things done.
What would be your best advice and tips for those who are watching us right now from outside of Canada on how to do business or how to become an entrepreneur in Canada? What would be your advice?
I would say like just never give up.
Never give up?
Yes,
Okay.
that's always our metaphors is we just you solve the problem, you solve challenges, but you have to find all the possible way to solve it. You just cannot give up.
Well, fair point. Thank you. And Canada tries to attract the best talent, great ideas and innovators from outside of Canada through such programs as Startup Visa program and many other business immigration programs. What's your experience in Startup Visa or any government immigration programs? Have you come across them, and did you ever consider using them?
The startup programs, SUV or startup visa program is pretty good for the entrepreneur that want to start business in Canada. And the only issue we have here is just delay.
Delay the processing time,
yeah,
right?
Before it was like 1 year, now it was 32 months.
Yeah, and if immigration officers and immigration department is listening to this, hopefully they are, please process faster and bring those great talent like this gentleman and his co-founders, his team to Canada so that they can solve real life problems as they're trying to do with firefighters at the moment. Well, great talking to you, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.